Hey, Kim here. So some of you may not know this about me, but I have always loved doing crafts, needlework, knitting, crocheting, macrame, you name it. And I was an avid quilter back in the day. I am currently working on some felting projects, which are really, really fun. So when my kids were little, I actually made Christmas gifts for everyone in my family at one point. So, but organizing and sorting and downsizing our craft area can be really challenging because I think we are all very creative souls, and we always have like great ideas for future projects. And you know, you may have spent a lot of money on your craft supplies, so they can be hard to let go of. And they hold that promise of something that you could create or something that you wanted to create at some point, right? They hold that promise of a future creative idea. So, and often there are a lot of small bits and pieces when it comes to our craft supplies. So, what do you do with all these little things, right? So, I do have some ideas for you to think about. And the first one, you've probably heard me talk about this before, is putting like with like. And it can be really important because it helps you to see how much of something you have. And it can help you to know what you might need if you're out and about and you see something. So think about though, how many pairs of scissors do you really need, right? So, and other things too, like other supplies. So sometimes we purchase items like for a particular project that we're working on, and then when the project is finished, we end up having all kinds of supplies and little bits and bobs left over that we're not going to use. And so that can be possibly an easier area to let go of. Have you ever bought something that you have to put together and you end up with bags of little screws and what are those things called? Those little wrenches. I don't know. But anyways, you just end up with all this stuff that someday you come across it and you're like, what the heck is this? Why do I have this? Right? So you might want to think about, extra beads or scrapbooking materials that you're not going to use. Wool is a really good example. Fabric. I know I still have fabric. Paint. I know you get what I'm talking about, right? So let's think about donating the excess stuff. So, okay, my next one is about just labeling your boxes and bins so you know what is in them and you can access them easily. And you can find things that you need when you need them. So I actually just use file labels for file folders, those kind of labels, and I just put them on my boxes or bins or whatever they are and label them with just a marker, and it works out great. So my partner's always she'll need some ribbon or something, and I'm like, there's a container downstairs if you go and look, and it says ribbons on it. I think she's amazed when she hears that. Anyway, so we can also think about there were things in the past that we did that we enjoyed doing back in the day, but maybe we're not so into it anymore. So things change. There are trends that happen with crafts too. Like there were trends with things like macrame, right? Like now, macrame is not a very popular craft. However, you can find macrame pot holders everywhere. And I actually have made a couple and I have them hanging in my window. I really like them. But there could be other things though that, you used to really love doing and maybe you lost interest in it and maybe it's time to let it go. I actually was making some wind chimes at one point, and I was using my mom's spoons that she collected over the years. She has a ton of them. I still have them. And there's a lot of them, and they're really sweet. Anyways, I made a number of wind chimes with them. And I gave some away, and I felt good about that. But I had a few issues with some of the ones I gave away. I guess I had some expectations about how it was going to be for me to give those away. And I guess, sometimes we need to not have expectations about that. But it was, I gave them away to family members, and yeah, it just didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. So so I kind of lost interest in this project, but I still have a bin full of all of these little things that I could use to make more wind chimes. So I have to decide about that. Anyway, okay, moving on. So to just be aware of the marketing of craft supplies out there. Have you ever been to Michael's? Oh my goodness, that store is so big and it's so fun. It's so fun. But anyways, yeah, and little craft supplies are fun, right? But yeah, Michael's or the dollar stores, it can be so tempting. And really, marketers just want your money, right? But I know it can be a fun pastime to be looking for all those little things to fill up our craft cupboard. But you want to try to avoid like picking up stuff that you don't really have a plan for. I even found myself doing that at the grocery store today. I was looking at something in the, vegetable section, and I thought, I had it in my cart and everything. And then I thought, I don't really have a plan for this. And maybe I just need to not get it at this time because I don't have a plan. It could just go to waste in the fridge, and I need to just let it go, right? Let it go. I can walk away, right? So yeah, so just try to avoid picking up things unless you have that plan in mind that you're going to do. So it's good to have that a focus, right? And a focus on the project that you're working on, and try to keep it at that, right? And I know we can be, really tempted with that shiny object syndrome. It's like, whoa, what's over here? I even find that at the grocery store as well. Anyway, okay, so focus is really good. So I know, some of us really like to have a lot of projects on the go. I get that. We don't want to just be working on one project. I remember when I did work on those projects for my family, I remember I had like a whole bunch of different things going. And then when I started finishing them, it was like all of a sudden I was finishing them. It was so many, and it was so cool. But anyways, so I have a few questions for you to think about. And the first one is, do you spend more time purchasing supplies than actually working on the project? So something to think about. I know that can be a common thing with a lot of people that I work with. We always have those ideas of what we want to do. So, and then if you do have a lot of projects and supplies ready to go, when do you plan to work on those things? Right? Like, sometimes people pick up things from the side of the road that they think they're going to fix them, or they're going to paint them, or they're going to, renovate them, or whatever it is. And those things can really sit around for a long time, and they become maybe even invisible. So ask yourself, when are you going to work on that project? Give yourself a deadline, or decide, no, I'm not going to, right? It's either or. So why do you want to work on specific crafts? What brings you joy? What helps you to think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to sit down at the end of the day and work on my project? What really lights you up and gets you wanting to work on your specific project? And what are your favorite crafts or art projects that you want to do, that you dream of doing? Right? I have been thinking about my felting projects for a while now, and I just pulled it out actually last week. So I'm excited to work on that project. So yeah. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit just about the benefits of organizing your craft area. So what it means is you can find the supplies you need for your project, right? And organizing is so much easier when you have less, as we know. Knowing what you already have means that you won't be buying duplicates, and you'll have more time to work on your projects. You'll also have more focus on what projects you plan and want to do. And you are able to donate or pass on to others who could use them. So I know when I was doing a lot of quilting and I would go to my space to work, I often felt like I needed to kind of clear up and clean up the area first, because I really wanted to, I felt like I needed to start fresh, right? And I mean, quilting can be a real, you can have like a real mess of fabric everywhere, spread out. It's an organized, creative mess. And it's fun. It is really fun, but you do need some space to be able to do that. And so I always did feel like I needed to get my space prepared beforehand. And maybe that's something that would help you too, because I do hear from a lot of people who say, oh, they wouldn't be able to do crafts in their space because there's no place to do them. It's not clear. So yeah, I hope some of these ideas help you and get you motivated and inspired to think about what you want to be doing with your time. So if you are wondering where to start, please, get in touch with me. And if you like this video, please like and comment below. And happy decluttering and happy crafting. All right, bye for now.